Five, three, two, one. Hello. Thank you so very much for being a part of my journey. My name is Sergio Stefan. I am a mind money coach, and today on SuperNatural Journey show, we are going to talk about the importance of your gut. So, ladies and gentlemen, today my special guest tuning in from Australia. Hello, Armand. Hello, everybody. Thank you. My special guest, Amanda Wright, who is a gut health specialist, are going to talk about the importance of our gut. Because my personal view is we are what we eat. Food is energy. Food is data. So therefore is very, very important what we eat. So while waiting for my guest to show up, I would really, really love to see your questions. Say hi if you can see me and hear me. Would be great to know each other. I should just continue. So please say hi if you can hear me. Say how are you, where you are tuning in, and while waiting our guest to show up, I will really, really, really ask you a question. What are you eating? How important is for you what do you eat? For me, it's fundamental. Therefore, I look always to eat what is healthy, what is gives me energy, and always be aware that food is data, food is energy. So whatever you eat is important to be aware about what you eat. Food is data and energy. You can eat junk food or you can eat healthy stuff. And I know that eating healthy is a little bit more expensive, but that is fine. We can make money. That's no problem. So let's see. Our guest didn't show up. Please, your question. I would really, really love to know how important is for you what do you eat, because I believe that sometimes our conditioning it make us to eat only foods that we've been eating during our life, and changing is not easy. It's quite difficult sometimes to make a change in our life. So hello Matthew, how you doing? Welcome in the house. Today we have the special guest Amanda Wright from Australia talking about the importance of our gut. Please drop in your questions, and let me see if I can bring guest request. So yeah, while waiting for Amanda, while waiting for Amanda to tune in, I would really love to understand how important is for you what do you eat. Food is powerful. Sorry for that. Okay, bring on camera. Add. 5, 4, 3, 1. Go. Supernatural Journey Show, a show that will help you to make little change in your life that will inspire you to be more.
Hello.
I can hear you.
Okay, great.
Hello.
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 Good.
How are
I've
you?
just been trying to join from my laptop, but no good. So I'm joining on my phone. Seems to be working okay.
Yeah, you see, it's funny that nowadays phones are replacing the laptops. Laptops, they're not really good. They're too big. They're not working properly. So the phone is the weapon to help us grow. So,
That's
Amanda, thank
funny.
you. Thank you very much for accepting my invite. It's an honor to have you on. And let's get it on and start with who is Amanda? Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. So, who is Amanda Wright?
Hello, Sergio. Sergio, thank you for having me on your show. It's a pleasure to be here. And yeah, as I say, sorry for a few technical issues jumping on the live. Who is Amanda Wright? I'm Amanda Wright, the gut health specialist. I'm broadcasting live from Melbourne, Australia, and I met Sergio over in London, UK this September. So we connected at the Outstanding Speakers Academy, which was absolutely amazing. Absolutely awesome guy. So really pleased to meet you. And thank you for having me on the live. So today I'm going to talk about the importance of having amazing gut health.
I think that during my research, I have understand that is like new scientific discoveries about the power of our gut. Um, the bacteria that is transforming our food into chemicals, it's really important, and we have different uh, bacteria that like different foods. But before getting into that, I would like to know a little bit about you, like where you're from, what is your journey on this planet.
Yes, thank you for asking. Well, I'm originally from the UK, and I was born in the countryside, moved to London when I was 18, and I studied construction management. So I was in construction project management for over 18 years, where I had a very successful corporate career, and I traveled all around the world, worked in London, parts of Asia, and also all over Australia, and helped with building multi-billion and million-dollar infrastructure projects all around the world. So that was absolutely an amazing career, but it wasn't my life purpose. I actually started to feel quite suffocated in my early 30s, and knowing really it wasn't what I wanted to do at that point, I continued working in that industry because, yeah, it was a good job, paid me well, and there was lots of scope for career development and earning potential. So, you know, there's not much incentive to leave an industry like that when you're getting paid well and getting a lot of perks for the job. But unfortunately, with that high stress job came a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety as well. And there was also a lot of suppression of my emotions from childhood traumas. I was bullied for 18 years. And a lot of that stuff was suppressed, and I thought I dealt with it, but I didn't. And when I got to my mid-30s, there was a lot of compounding effects that built up and really affected my health. So a high-stress job, burning the candle at both ends, not sleeping much, party lifestyle, suppressing of emotions when I was from my teenage and child and adolescent years. And I wasn't absorbing foods from my diet properly, which then in turn affected my health. So I always thought I had a pretty good diet. I was brought up eating really good whole foods, and especially a lot of organic foods from the garden. So I always ate pretty healthy. So food and really getting a good idea about eating lots of fresh fruit and vegetables was not really a problem for me. But what was the problem was the absorption. When I got to my it was just before my mid-30s, my whole body was basically breaking down on me with the amount of stress that I was under, physically and emotionally. And yeah, I wasn't absorbing anything really. I had leaky gut syndrome, which really is when the gut lining it breaks down, and a lot of people suffer with this, with stress and anxiety and poor lifestyle choices. So the body is way too acidic, so the gut lining starts breaking down. You start getting holes in the gut lining, and undigested food particles go into the bloodstream and cause havoc with the immune system. And as a consequence of that, you can develop autoimmune diseases, which happened in my case. That I got fibromyalgia and also chronic lung disease. I couldn't breathe properly for 2 years, and had a whole host of other health problems. I was really in a bad way, had suffered with really bad anxiety and depression for a couple of years. And I just come to the point where I decided that this is what I was going to have to live with for the rest of my life. And really, it wasn't until one day I was out at the shops that my sciatic pain got so bad that I fell over and I couldn't walk for a few days. A friend of mine said, "You probably better go to a chiropractor," and I didn't really know what a chiropractor was, but I did manage to get myself along when I could get myself in my car again. And that was really the start of my new journey of going on a path of self-discovery, self-development, health and wellness, and really getting my life back on track. So through that day, I'm going to see the chiropractor. I got referred to go see a naturopath, and I work closely with lots of health professionals over the course of a few years to work on my absorption in my gut, healing my gut, and also working on my mindset and my I guess cleaning up cleaning up the mess that was up here, undoing the depression and the anxiety. And anyone that knows that suffered from these kind of conditions know that it's not a quick fix. You can't just go and see a counsellor and have your depression and anxiety reversed within one session. It takes many months, even many years, to work through all the underlying issues that have been going on for many, many years. So working in conjunction with many different modalities of health practitioners, so the chiropractors, the kinesiologists, Reiki, color, sound therapy, bone therapy, massage, and mindfulness, meditation, yoga, all of those more holistic approaches to health. I managed to get my health on track within 2 years. And the biggest turnaround for me, well, there was two things. One, my fibromyalgia went away, so I had no more unexplained aches and pains in my body. And two, I could breathe properly again. I think that was the biggest one for me, being able to breathe, because not being able to breathe properly for 2 years, your breath is laboured breathing in. You feel like you can never get a full breath in. If anyone has ever suffered with asthma, they'll know what I'm talking about. So just being able to breathe again was incredible. And I was off all medications by this point. I was no longer taking any of my prescription medications. And I was so blown away by the turnaround in my health that I decided that I needed to go and study the science behind what I had experienced firsthand, because I thought, well, if this has worked for myself, then I can help other people learn how they can do the same. And yeah, so that's my story. I went on to study for 3 years and got my advanced diplomas in nutrition, naturopathy, and herbal medicine. Set up my own clinical practice in Brisbane, Australia for 3 years. And then I went on to learn more business management skills and learn how to do public speaking and really learn a bit more about the new age technology with putting a business on the internet and learning how to build sales funnels and do Facebook Live and get on radio and TV, and yeah, just so I can get the message out there to a much wider audience. So I really want to help impact the lives of hundreds of millions of people all around the world, not just with my story, but with how I can help them. Because if I've managed to turn my life around by you know, just doing all of this work on myself, then I need to get my message out there and help inspire other people that they can do the same thing, because it all starts from within, and you. No one can change you. No one can help you. Only you can fix yourself up. And you get to the point that you feel that is the point of no return, which is what really happened to me essentially. Where you go down so far, whether it be with your health, with your finances or relationships, you get to a certain point where you realize that there's only one way to go. You got to come back up again. Otherwise, you just end up, you know, ending it all. And that's not the answer. That's you know, not the solution to solving our problems. So you're in control of your life, and I've taken back control of my life a few times, and here I am on Facebook Live, sharing my story, sharing my message. And now I'm super passionate about gut health, because I've realized that everything starts in the gut. If you haven't got that absorption there from the diet, then you can't absorb the vitamins and the minerals that you need to support your brain function, to produce your serotonin, send the chemical messages to the brain to make you feel good and happy and regulate your sleep patterns. Also, you can't absorb all your minerals to produce new healthy hair, skin and nails, and essentially repair ourselves the whole time. And also we need to digest a lot of the good nutrients, fats in our diet to produce healthy hormones so that we feel good, and we can also help fight the aging process the whole time. So super passionate about health, and gut health in particular. So as the Hippocrates says, all disease starts or begins in the gut. So that's my passion, and I'm here to impact and change millions of lives around the world with learning how they can also heal from the inside out.
Yeah, it's I can see your passion, because you don't stop talking about it, and it's amazing to find your calling in life and to be able to work on your dream and to be more, and it's a blessing to be able to inspire others. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. I do have here one question, probably is one if you're, so could you guys please touch on taurine for bile production, as you know, I have liver cirrhosis from being a muso, from Jay Mason.
Sorry, what was the question? I need to, is that on the live? Oh, yeah. Could you please touch on taurine for bile production, as I have liver cirrhosis from being a muso? Oh, okay. So, yeah, really good question. There's lots of things that you can do for liver health. So you need lots of really nice supporting and healing herbs in the diet to help with liver health and regeneration of the liver. So there's things like good herbal supplements. Go and find a good like health food store that you can get things like globe artichoke, turmeric. Turmeric's really good for liver health, liver detoxification. Milk thistle, dandelion, things like that. Also lemon juice is really good for stimulating bile in the liver. So take that first thing in the morning. Taurine, not so sure about that one. I'll have to have a look into the taurine, but lemon juice is very good for stimulating bile production. And of course, you need the bile production to break down your fats, and the bile does get stored in your gallbladder and then released from the gallbladder when you're eating the fats to help break them down. So I hope that helps to answer your question. What else? I take milk thistle. Yeah, milk thistle, very good. Very good for liver health and liver regeneration and liver repair. Um, yeah, good question. What else? MSN helps repair with the gut lining. So things like glutamine, slippery elm, um, what else? MSN, glutamine. They're the essential main nutrients that you need to help heal the gut, the damaged gut lining. And there's other ones that can act as more demulcent herbs to help soothe any irritation. People get a lot of irritation from ulcers or things like acid reflux, red inflammation in the gut. Poor diet, poor dietary choices. So you can take things like demulcent herbs like slippery elm, marshmallow root, licorice root, acacia gum. These will all help soothe the gut lining so that you can not feel so uncomfortable and feel so much pain and discomfort in the gut when you're eating foods. So have I got any more questions? Sorry?
No, not for now. Not for now. For example, I have a delicious, delicious drink which is natural honey. It's lemon and turmeric. This one is like gives you wings, and I do take a lot of bee products like propolis, bee pollen, which is for energy and is really really important because bees are the only insects that create supplement food for humans. So I think they very. What is your point on bee products?
Yeah, if you can get good quality bee products, absolutely. Like the 500 plus not echinacea,
Manuka.
Manuka honey. Manuka honey that's sourced in New Zealand is very good quality, especially from wild, remote areas where they have really good quality control testing to make sure that every batch does actually meet that 500 plus certification, which means that it's got that really high therapeutic properties. So a lot of antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral, anti pretty much everything to help fight off virus, disease and bacteria in the body. So it is really, I would class Manuka honey, good quality, as a superfood. And indirectly, yes, it will of course help with energy production, because if you're fighting off all the bad guys and helping to reestablish good healthy bacteria in the gut, then that frees up the body to have more energy to make you feel more energetic and feel good all the time. So yeah, absolutely. And there's lots of other really really good superfoods that you can have in your diet to help fight the free radicals, the inflammation in our diet that we ingest from foods and the environment all the time. So you've got things like acai berries, spirulina, chlorella, hemp products, coconut products, MCT oil. And then, of course, you've got all of the wonderful herbs from nature. If you can have a herb garden, grow your own herbs and include things like basil, thyme, oregano, sage, parsley every day. They're just packed full of so many nutrients and chlorophyll that super good not only for producing new healthy hair, skin and nails, but also for liver detox and really cleansing and supporting of liver health as well. So that's really, really important to get some superfoods into your diet every day. One of the biggest problems I see today with the Western diet is too much convenience, and we're so time poor. It's go, 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 either takeaways or get pre-packed food from the supermarket that you put in the microwave to heat up. And there's people are time poor to prepare vegetables. It takes too long. But, you know, even the supermarkets have managed to get their act together now and prepare vegetables that are already pre-cut, so they're in a packet. So really, if you're really that time poor, buy the pre-cut ones and stick them in the steamer when you get home, and at least get some vegetables into your diet every day. You really need those you need a lot of fiber, because you were talking before about the bacteria in the gut. Now, the gut has over 100 trillion bacteria in it, and the gut goes from as soon as we put the food into our mouth to where through our whole intestinal tract down through our colon. So over 100 trillion different bacteria, not different bacteria, 100 trillion bacteria with over 1,000 different species. So those bacteria, there's good and bad. So you need to get a good balance of good bacteria, because that's how our food digests off the good bacteria. So where do you get that from? You're going to get it from your food sources, things like your prebiotic foods. So your things like your garlic, your onion, your globe artichoke, your dandelion roots, your banana starch, coconut products. So sometimes, or quite often, we can't get enough of these different varieties of foods in the diet from all of the, the fiber sources. And there's many different types, but so many of us are fiber depleted because we don't eat enough of the fibrous foods. So we're not establishing enough of that good bacteria in the gut to help our food digest. So a lot of digestive problems that I'm seeing, especially with gas and bloating after meals. And that's not just because they haven't got enough of the good bacteria in the gut, but because people are so time poor and they're rush, go to eat, that they're not releasing enough digestive enzymes from the pancreas to break down the foods, because they're all in that stress state. So the body's not relaxed to really digest food. So there's another problem there. So many problems when it comes to gut health. Our, modern diet, Western diet of convenience foods with lack of fiber and nutrition in it. Then we've got we're running around on adrenaline and stress and cortisol the whole time, and we're not relaxed enough to eat. We're not releasing enough digestive enzymes, and so then we're not getting the absorption. And then if we haven't got enough of the right fibers in the diet, then we haven't got enough of the good bacteria in our gut. So we've got a cascade of gut health problems going on in today's modern society, and it's getting worse, unfortunately.
Yes, there was an article about a survey in America. By 2020, right now they are 75% obese, and by 2020, 95% of the population of America will be obese, which is terrible. Basically, we overeat, we eat too much, and obviously we don't eat the right way. And I think how important you think is the balance, and not only the balance in what you eat, but the balance of your exercises.
Definitely need to exercise to move your body. I did a Facebook Live not so long ago on my wall. If you go to Amanda Wright and look for me, you can watch some of my lives and see I did some tips on why you need to move your body for gut health. Now, there's another interesting way to look at it. If we're stagnant and we're not getting enough movement, then how can you expect to get the peristalsis, which is the movement through the whole gastrointestinal tract to move the food through the stomach? So in conjunction with enough fibrous foods, which fiber helps move the stool and the bulk through the intestine and the large intestine, you also need to get the movement. So whether you go for massage and you get them to gently do a massage around your abdominal area, or you do some exercise so that your intestines are moving. If you're a bit sedentary and exercise is a challenge for you, then just do some walking, try and incorporate some yoga. Yoga is probably one of the best sources of exercise because it's very gentle on the body, but you're getting stretches and you're getting movement into sedentary. But you do need to get some kind of movement in the body so that the food can actually move through the gut and you can get that assimilation. If you're getting stagnation of food in the colon, which is often the case, a lot of people don't go to toilet and have a bowel motion for maybe 1 or 2 days, sometimes longer, then that fecal matter is sitting there in the colon and leaching out toxic chemicals essentially through to your bloodstream. So there's another issue there with toxic waste going through into your bloodstream, and then your immune system has to work to get rid of those pathogens as well. So really important that you do get enough movement, enough peristalsis in the gut, along with enough fibrous food, so that you can definitely get a bowel motion a day. Ideally, we're supposed to have 2 or 3 bowel motions a day, but in our Western society today, we're so stressed all the time, we don't relax enough to be able to go to the toilet that often, unfortunately. So if my clients get 1 bowel motion a day, then it's a good result.
Yeah, I was reading the other day an article about the importance of the hip flexors, the psoas muscles, the one that they are right around the gut. And
Yeah.
there are some simple exercises that we can move our legs, and even for the back pain. And what is your view on psoas muscles?
Yeah, definitely. I would demonstrate on the live, but it's not very, one of the exercises I know is not so attractive, but you stand up and you basically do really deep abdominal breathing. So you take a really deep breath in that not just fills your lungs, but it fills your whole abdominal area. So you really have to take a really deep breath in, nice and slowly, counting to at least 8, 12 if you can. So all of the oxygen you're breathing in is going into your gut. So basically you extend your stomach out like a massive big balloon, and then you breathe a little bit of the rest of the oxygen into your lungs, and then you breathe out through the lungs and then breathe out through the abdominals. So by doing this, you're getting a lot of movement through into the abdominal area through the breathing exercise. With the hip flexors, are you talking about moving your hip flexors backwards and forwards? Is that what you mean?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that in conjunction as well with the deep breathing will help, but it's more so the deep breathing that you do need to get into the abdominal area. If you do the hip flexors, then it's probably going to just help slightly, getting a little bit more movement and circulation of that oxygen through the whole abdominal area and around the colon. Yeah. So another good point, that will come if you do your if you go and do some exercise every day. You can incorporate the deep breathing. So a really easy strategy to incorporate to get some peristalsis and movement around the abdominal area.
There is a contradiction that I have. I hear people that after we eat to go and relax and sleep, but I think that there are some other views that is important to go at least 15 minutes for a walk.
Yeah, absolutely. Never really a good idea to be too sedentary after we eat. It is good to be relaxed enough so the food can digest, but it's good to also keep the metabolism going and help burn off some of that food that we've ingested. But that's not to say go for a gym workout after you've eaten, because your digestive system needs that energy to break down the foods in the gut. So basically a lot of energy is being used up in the gut to break the food down. So if you go for a stroll, that's okay, because you're not burning off very many kilojoules going for a walk or a light stroll. But you definitely wouldn't want to start going for a jog or a sprint or going to lift any heavy weights, because what would happen then essentially is your energy would be taken away from your digestive area and go to your muscles and your bones to be able to do the exercise. Then you're going to get you're not going to digest your food very well at all, and you're going to start getting acid reflux and start burping and feeling bloated, and maybe even have that acid reflux burp that you might have. That's when you're not digesting your food properly. So a little bit of light walking after you've eaten definitely won't hurt, but you definitely don't want to do any strenuous exercise.
Okay, I remember you told me your story about you got involved into a business online with an American company and they failed. How important you think is the stress related to your health? Because for sure you were like in a moment that you were very, very down.
Yeah, I was had experiences of being very down through certain stages of my life, and I didn't expect that building a business would be as stressful as it has been. Not only have I been focusing on getting my gut health business up and running, but I was looking to create multiple streams of income, and I got a bit sidetracked with other business ventures and lost a lot of money, and that was very, very stressful because I could have invested that money into my health business, but I invested it elsewhere, and it didn't work out in my favor, unfortunately. And yes, that was incredibly stressful. And that's here I am, the gut health specialist, talking about how to improve your gut health and look after your stress levels. And I'm going through quite a lot of stress myself. Yeah, so financial stress is never very nice. I'm sure anyone that has got a small business that's built a business from scratch will be able to relate to that, because you need a lot of resources to be able to build a business, whatever it's in. So even if you're in the health niche, you still need you still need the same amount of resources to build a business. And then when it comes down to finances, and you need to put food on the table and have a roof over your head and pay your bills, and also have money to build a business, yes, it's stressful. And then if you're losing money, if other business ventures are failing or not doing well, that's also pretty stressful. So how to manage that? Well, yeah, that's I have to practice what I preach, don't I? And I decided to take some time out this year. I could feel myself burning out again. I was, yeah, just running around like a crazy person, trying to do so many things in my business. I built up 3 businesses in the last 6 years, and by myself. I've had a little bit of help by paying virtual assistants, but I've decided to really get focused on my gut health business, because I need to channel all my energy into what I'm really, really super passionate about. And but I got to the point where the other 2 businesses I had to say, look, no, I'm just going to have to cut my losses, because I'm putting energy into something that is not what I'm passionate about. So then when I finally made a decision to get my act together and finally focus all my energy into my health business, I had no money, had nowhere to live. I'd sold everything, invested everything in my other businesses. I had nothing left. And I thought, well, what am I going to do? But then every time I kept going into my meditations and grounding myself, I just kept feeling that I would find my way. I've managed to find my way. And I think one of the important lessons or messages that come out of that was really, I mean, we're born with nothing and we die with nothing. So many entrepreneurs, they lose everything many, many times, and they start from scratch over and over and over again and build themselves up. And the thing that I keep saying from a business perspective and also to my clients is you've got to do what you're really, really passionate about, because when you are, you'll just find a way to make it work, and you'll do whatever it takes to get the job done. Now, I've done things over the last couple of years I never thought I would do to make my business work. But you surprise yourself how resourceful that you can be to build your business when you really, really want to. So, yeah, it's almost like, I suppose, being reborn, because you don't want to go backwards. Like, I definitely don't want to go backwards to working in my corporate job again, although I have thought about it many times. But I just don't want to. It's not in alignment with my sole purpose, and it feels like it's suffocating me. And here I am telling my clients all the time that you need to be happy in what you do and look after your mental health as well as your physical health and your nutritional health. So I have to practice what I preach. So yes, it's been incredibly stressful, but I've had to keep grounding myself, do my meditations. I write my affirmations every day. I journal, and I take some time out when I need to, even if I haven't got the resources, I guess, financially that I need. I find a way to make it happen, because I know if I don't, and I burn myself out, I'm going to be no good to anybody. And as I said, I started to feel burnt out this year. So I took 2 months off, and I decided that I was just going to have some time to myself and focus on my health, and get myself back on track so that I could hit the ground running again when I got back from my trip, which is basically what I'm doing now. So here I am.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's
Good
amazing.
question.
It's amazing because I've been through quite a similar journey. I came in UK in 2010, and I worked in construction for 3 years plus. I saved as much as I was able to save. I changed industry. I went into the taxi industry. I built up a business to rent vehicles to taxi drivers. And after nearly 4 years of doing that business, I built it up to like 500,000, and then everything crashed. So now basically I am at the beginning of my new stage. So what was advice would you give to the audience how to find their passion?
How to find your passion? Good question. Definitely get connected with your meditations. A lot of people say to me, "Oh, I can't meditate." You can't meditate because there's too much noise up here. For a start, turn the television off. Spend some quiet time by yourself. We have what is it? A thought every 6 seconds pops into our head. How many thousands of thoughts do we have a day? It's hard to switch our minds off, but it's something we have to learn to do. Otherwise, we're so caught up in everything around us, the external environment and our ego, that we're not connected to our true, authentic self. So first thing is you really need to get connected to yourself and who you are, and the only way you can do that is through your meditations. If you're finding that hard to do as a first step, start journaling, start writing things down, and start writing affirmations, what you're grateful for every day, because it's so easy to wake up and think, I hate what I do, I don't like my job, I don't want to go to work today, and then you put yourself into a negative mindset straight away. But if you start journaling and start thinking about the things that you are grateful for and what you do have to look forward to, and being grateful for having food on the table, having a job, earning money, having a car, we take all these things for granted, but it's wrong to take them for granted, because we're fortunate to have so much. So just by acknowledging what we do have every day, that will start to get you to become more grateful and humbled. learning how to get connected with what you're passionate about. Once you start to change your mindset from negative to positive, i.e., stop feeling like you're feeling sorry for yourself, you're ungrateful for things, you're miserable, not looking forward to the day, don't like your job, to flip it to learning what you are grateful for, will get you into a better mindset to start to lower your anxiety levels and increase your vibration, so that you can start to manifest what you do want and think about what you do want to have in your life. So what is it that you enjoy? What do you enjoy doing? What is it that you're passionate about? Some of my clients, they say, I don't know. Well, they haven't been able to get to that point where they've done enough work on themselves to realize what it is that they are passionate about, because they're too busy all the time with external influences. So it's just really, really important that you do learn to take some time for yourself so that you can get connected back to who you really are. And the only way you're going to do that essentially is through your meditations. Every single time I feel like I'm not grounded, I'm getting off track, I go back to my meditations, and I know the answers come to me through just connecting with my heart space and getting out of all of this noise and all the chatter that's going on in the brain, and learning to listen to my heart and what my heart is telling me. Or if I ask a question to my heart will tell me the answer. It feels right, if it feels right or not inside. And that's, I guess, how I really connected, and I learned that I didn't want to be in construction anymore, because I listened to my heart and it was like telling me that no, this is definitely not you. So yeah, it's a work in progress. If you don't know what your passion is at the moment, then it can be a bit of a procedure, a work in progress to find that out. But believe me, everybody has a purpose on this planet, something that they are passionate about, and everybody has their own unique gifts and talents that they can share with somebody.
My give on this is to keep trying. Try till you find, right? And even every single failure for me is not a failure, it's just an opportunity to grow and to learn a lesson. And you learn a lot more from something negative than the positive. We have here Lovnik. She said that we have around 60,000 thoughts a day. What I know, we have between 60,000 and 70,000 thoughts a day. And we do have 90% of the same thoughts of yesterday. So as you said, if you don't bring yourself, your awareness into the fact that there is positive and negative, and take those negative and be a witness of, extract your higher self to be a witness of your thoughts, and just leave the negative thoughts to pass by. You don't need to interact, because if you interact, you can give birth to other similar thoughts. So it's important to let go and focus on the positives, focus on the dream life that you want to create for you. So I think it's very, very powerful. So everybody, if you need, guys, you have any questions, please drop them in, and we'll be happy to answer. Okay. What is your plan for the next 3 years? Because there is a study, and people underestimate what they want to achieve in the next 3 years.
Yeah, good question. Every time I put together a plan, well, it always seems to take 2 or 3 times as long to do. So, but anyway, you've got to keep setting yourself goals, don't you? And otherwise you don't, you've got to have goals to work towards. So the plan in the next 3 years is to build my gut health business. So I'm at a stage where I can employ more people to help me and build the business. And I'd essentially like to be able to teach people what I do through an accreditation program that I am looking into how that would all work with professional bodies that I'm aligned with in my industry. So it would be nice, it would be good to be able to educate and teach other health practitioners what I do in my niche, so that they can continue the work of going on and helping people heal their health from the inside out. So I'd like to help more people by training more people to learn how to become health practitioners, and yeah, just that's what I'd like to do. So I wouldn't mind moving back to the Sunshine Coast here in Australia as well, where the weather is a bit warmer. I'm in Melbourne at the moment, and it's the weather's okay. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's good in the summertime, but it can be a bit up and down in the winter, in the winter and autumn and spring. And so yeah, I might. Yeah, like wouldn't mind getting back to the Sunshine Coast and building my house by the by the by the beach. So that's a personal goal, business goal. Yeah, keep building the business and employ more people and train people to do what I do.
Excellent. What is your take in what is your definition of greatness?
Good question. I guess greatness being humbled, I suppose, being humbled. When you're humbled, you have learned wisdom, and you have a lot more compassion for yourself and for others. And when you have that, when you have the wisdom and the grounding and the compassion, and what was the other one I said? I've forgotten now. You find that greatness comes from that. I think greatness really comes from having gained wisdom and being really humbled. So you only really gain that through experience of life and going through many different experiences. I think when you learn how to get out of the ego and you get in touch with your true authentic self, that also attributes to greatness as well, because you're not listening to this thing up there that's going, this is what you're supposed to do, this is what you should do, you've got to conform to society, you've got to fit into a box, you've got to meet these expectations, you've got to be pleasing people. You get out of that mindset and you learn to really get connected to yourself, your true authentic self, which means that you start shining, you start really discovering who you want to be, and nothing can really get in your way. And then that greatness comes out of you, and people can see that you're aligned and you want to help people. And when you help people, that's when you start building your business and your life starts changing dramatically. So yeah, a few different attributes there that really contribute to greatness. So does that help answer your question?
Yes, it was a very complex question. I have here some comments
Yeah.
from my mentor, which I sent him love. Buddy, great stuff. Keep going with your show. You are doing great. Well, when you're gonna invite me? I'll invite you very soon, Edward. Don't worry. Just wait. Patience. Okay. How important you think is for an individual his environment, the people that spend time with?
Oh, absolutely. You're only as good as the first 5 people, the five main people that you hang around with. I've listened to so many entrepreneurs. I don't know who the quote comes from, but yeah, I learned that one many years ago. So yes, you have a look at the first, the main 5 people that you hang around with, or are the key influences in your life, and that's who you really want to aspire to be like. So whether they're people that you follow online, certain entrepreneurs or key influencers or bloggers, or whether they are in your personal space, in your your everyday environment. So who do you hang around with? Do you hang around people that aspire to achieve greatness and change people's lives and help and support others and speak well and do the right thing, or try and do the right thing every day and help lift other people up and are supportive of you? Or do you hang around with people that put other people down, gossip all the time, and don't have anything positive to say, and badmouth people and swear a lot? That whole those let's say qualities, those personality traits from people are act on a much lower vibrational energy, and that's going to affect you and your vibrational energy. So if you want to lift yourself, elevate yourself, then you need to be around positive, supportive, influential, great people.
Yes.
People that are achieving things in their life and aspire to keep wanting to achieve more and do better all the time. So that's who I aspire to be like and to hang around with, and yeah, that's who I attract and manifest in my life.
Yes,
Yeah.
true. Exactly the same. I am just a mirror of what I think and do, and I really appreciate spending time with quality people. How important for personal growth is to travel?
Travel is amazing because you get to learn a lot about yourself, and also when you go into other cultures, you you just get to appreciate how other people live, especially if you go to lower socioeconomic countries, poorer countries. And yeah, I've done a lot of traveling in my lifetime, and I've traveled all over Asia and parts of India, and like a couple of years ago I went to Burma, now called Myanmar, and so it's a really underdeveloped country, and they're starting to put some money into the economy now with all the Western companies coming over there to start building infrastructure, but it's really it is really underdeveloped. So we're talking no toilets in restaurants or cafes. You go out the back and there may be a tin shed that you can go and squat and go to the bathroom, but there's nowhere to wash your hands. So when you go to countries like that and you're exposed to those situations where you've got no washroom facilities, no proper toilet, you really makes you appreciate what you have in your Western lifestyle. And seeing people beg, and especially around India where they have got this was going back a few years, but they'd have no limbs. I'm sure it's the same now. Really bad, poor health, poor hygiene, lots of people living on the street and begging, and they live in slums, and you see it, and the water's dirty, and they don't have a lot of money to live. You really start to put things into perspective, and you realize how fortunate you are to live a good quality of life that you do have. So I definitely like gives you a lot of world knowledge and experience of the way other people live, and also about the politics going on in other people's countries, and really makes you appreciate what you do have in your own Western society when you get back home. So makes you more of a rounded person, helps you grow, and gives you a lot of really good, humbling life experience to travel, for sure. Absolutely recommend it to anyone to go and do some traveling.
Yes, hello Pamjit, hello Rakesh. So Pamjit said, I would agree, it gives perspective to your own life. And in city areas in India, she agrees. And Rakesh Kumar asked you, did you like India?
Yeah, I did like India. I liked India a lot. I liked the colours. When I went to the market stalls, there's so many vibrant colours of all the chilies, all the spices, and I love all of that food. So just seeing all the different colours of all the spices on the little street stalls for sale. Plus, you've got lots of vibrant um, like clothing. The clothing's very colourful as well. So I noticed a lot of red, a lot of orange all the time, and I found it really uplifting and very quite vibrant and energetic. And the people are very humbled and very grateful for your custom. And I I had a really good experience. All my experiences were really good when I went to India, and when I traveled to Asia as well. Yeah.
Okay, Amanda. So before asking my last question, I would like to ask you um, if you have a message for our audience.
If I have a message, well,
Yes.
I did put a post up earlier where I said I was going to reveal the five-step gut health recharge system. So I
Yes,
was
I
going to
want it.
reveal what you need, what you need to completely recharge and heal your gut. So you want it. You want this information. So really, there's not a lot to it. I make it sound simple, but it's whether you want to put in the work to healing your gut. So first of all, let's just give you a quick rundown of some typical gut problems, and I'll tell you the 5-step healing process. So typical problems are gas, bloating, constipation, diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome. Then you've got more serious problems of ulcerations, gastritis, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, which are more autoimmune disease and really degeneration of the intestines and the large colon. So how to reverse and avoid these problems, or how to heal the gut so you can get rid of these problems. Well, first of all, the first step is you really need to alkalize the diet. So you've got to get rid of high acid foods, so things like sugar, coffee, alcohol, um, things like highly processed food. Most grains are quite acidic. Get off gluten, get off dairy, get off sugars. So all of those foods are very acidic. When the body's in an acidic state, it won't detoxify or repair itself. Also, cancer feeds off acidity and sugar, so get rid of all sugars in your diet. So that's the first step, alkalizing. The second step is introducing antimicrobial herbs or antifungal herbs, things like garlic, rosemary, thyme, sage, what else? Oregano, ginger, clove, all of these antimicrobial herbs, what they do is they kill bad bacteria in the gut. And most of us have way too much bad bacteria, so we need to get rid of some of the bad guys so that we can establish a healthy gut flora and a healthy microbiome. So that's the second step, killing the bad guys. So the third step is to heal the gut. So we've got to add in some pre and probiotics. So things that I mentioned before, like the prebiotic foods, were things like your globe artichoke, your inulin, your dandelion root, your banana resistant starch, garlic, leeks, onion, bananas, starchy foods, the fiber off some grains like off brown rice. So you've got to get those prebiotic foods into the diet. If you can't get enough of those, then supplement with some prebiotic powders that you can get from your health food store. And then you've got your probiotics, things like your Aphidiphilophilus and all of those really long names, Bifidobacterium, Casey, Ramus. There's a whole heap of them out there. There's over 1,000 different species of good bacteria that we need. So it's not a case of just taking one probiotic. You may need to take a few different probiotics over the course of your life. And especially if you've just taken antibiotics for some viral infection, you definitely need to take probiotics after you've taken antibiotics to get that good bacteria back into the gut. So that's the third step. Fourth step, we need to do some more gut healing and introduce some herbs like slippery elm, licorice, marshmallow, dandelion, mastic gum, zinc, the quercetin, and also the MSM and the glutamine as well. These are all herbs and supplements and minerals that are going to help to heal the gut lining and also down-regulate any inflammation, soreness, redness that you've got there from things like ulcerations or a lot of gut irritation that people have from the breakdown of the gut lining. So the fifth step then is to restore the gut microbiome. So the microbiome is kind of like our little ecosystem there that houses our gut and keeps everything nice and healthy and allows to send those chemical messages from the gut to the brain and make us feel good. So how do you have a healthy ecosystem? You need to introduce the fermented foods into the diet. Have your things like your kombucha, your pickles, your sauerkrauts, fermented soya, non-genetically modified soya products like your tempeh, your miso soup, things like that. So you've got some live bacteria that's coming into the diet through those fermented foods, but you don't want to have those earlier on in your gut healing because they can cause problems because there's too much fermentation there. You need to heal the gut first. So that's the last step. And one more bonus step after that is to make sure once you've healed the gut, you've done all this wonderful work on healing your gut, you do not go back to your typical Western diet of processed foods and too much high carbohydrates and saturated fats and alcohol and sugars. You want to stick to an 80-20 rule, which is 80% of the time you're good, and 20% you can have a few little treats every now and then. So the body needs to keep alkalized. That's the key essential trick, really, to having good health. Keep learning and understanding how we can keep the diet and the body alkalized for the rest of our life. So ongoing work in progress, that one. So yeah, that's like what I'd like to leave you with. And if you've got any questions, anybody on gut health, then please drop them into the chat box below. I'll leave you a link to my business page so you can find out a little bit more about what I do and also read some of my testimonials from my clients. And yeah, if you've got any questions, please reach out to me. And I do Facebook Lives and talk about gut health. So yeah, also got a gut health group the Gut Health Specialist group on Facebook, which is more of a private group where you can ask more thorough and I guess technical questions and have your questions answered in a more safer and secure environment and community on Facebook that doesn't go anywhere else. So yeah, if you'd like to connect with me, I'll pop some links below, and if you've got any questions from this live, please reach out to me and I will get back to you.
Great, thank you very much. So so much value, and I kind of written everything down, nearly everything. And my last question is, Amanda, what is the impact that you want to have in the world?
Impact would be to change 1 million lives, to improve their gut health so that they can learn how to not only improve their gut health, but have the right education and the right information to take away with them to learn how they can keep their health in a good state for the rest of their life, and learn how they can prevent illness and disease from occurring in their life. So we all want to be healthier in our later years. The thing is, today people are living longer, but the quality of people's lives is not so good because they're on a lot of medications to keep them alive. So it's my mission, my impact to educate people in the way that they can learn how they can be healthier for longer without having to be supported by drugs and medications because that's not a good quality of life. So I like to impact people's lives more by educating them, to teach them how they can have a good quality of life going into their later years and live pain-free.
Okay, excellent. Amanda, thank you so very much for being with us today. And thank you very much to all the people that remain to the last drop of the show. Please drop in the comments or your questions and to connect with Amanda. She's a master of the gut. Any question you have, you can drop in and to her Facebook page. And yes, thank you very much, and see you on the other side.
Thank you. I was just reading some of the comments off my laptop. That's why I was just turning my head. I've got my laptop here, and I'll get back and respond to some of these comments and questions after the live. So we've been on the live for over an hour. That's gone quick. So thank you very much for having me on your show, Sergio. It's been lovely to chat with you on here. And I've had a few people join. So let's spread the word, spread the message. Anyone watching, if you like this this live, you feel someone would get some value from this, please hit that like, that love, that share button, and let's spread the word on how people can improve their gut health around the world and help impact more people's lives. So thank you, everybody. Well, just about to fall off my chair. I'll see you on the next live update. Amanda Wright, the Gut Health Specialist. Bye for now.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Love you.